I'm Nick Crookshank.
I'm Cam Backstrom.
And welcome to the second episode of Fantasy Failures. Somehow they let us come back on here and do it again.
Yeah, that's right. We are still here on this week's episode. We're going to recap this week's great moments.
And the miserable ones, which there were quite a few.
Indeed, there were. We're going over power rankings, the injury report, and of course, magic or tragic.
Also, how can anybody forget, we have David Compton's pick of the week. And Cam and I will continue our head-to-head battle. If you remember correctly, due to some weather issues, I had to pick a new quarterback. So I had to pick up Sam Bradford. And it was something along the lines of I predicted 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Very bold.
So guess what happened last night? I was patronized, I was chastised, I was mocked, I was left for dead. And Brad God himself lit up the Saints defense for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns. I still lost, but he went out there and played for my team. I knew that's what he was doing last night. So you know what, Bradford? Thank you. Thank you so much.
And that was only one of the games of the many that happened.
But that was most important.
But most important for him. Well,
yeah.
I mean, he still lost, but hey.
I don't care. Let's hit it.
Let's hit it. Recap of week 1. Okay,
All right.
The first thing, a week of defenses. Holy cow. Okay, the Chiefs D. We talked about this last week with Brady. We thought he was going to just absolutely torch the Chiefs,
we were really wrong.
We were really wrong about that.
Wrong.
The Chiefs D held Brady. He didn't even score a touchdown.
No, it was the worst.
It was crazy.
I've seen him play ever. Like,
wow.
They couldn't do anything.
They couldn't do anything.
I mean, maybe when they played the Chiefs a few years ago, but even then, Brady still threw a touchdown in this game.
Right, they completely shut him down.
It was incredible.
The Rams defense, who would have thought? They absolutely destroyed Scott Tolzien. They had 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 1 fumble recovery. 29 fantasy points. It was absurd.
They're great. And it's the Rams, man. They always beat the Seahawks twice a year. Like, their defense is spooky.
This could be the year.
Spooky.
This could be the year. The Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who would have thought? They absolutely destroyed Tom Savage. They brought in Watson during the second half. They had a touchdown, 3 fumble recoveries, and 1 pick.
Okay. I love them, but I need to talk about Watson for a minute. Okay. First of all, you all know I hate Todd Gurley, but I also hate Alabama. I despise Alabama. So anytime I can watch Bama lose, especially in a championship, makes my year. So Deshaun Watson, I am so high on him. I say, you know what? You start him. I mean, they said they're going to keep him anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't care. If he has a few bad games, keep him there.
I don't think Tom Savage is going to get done, in my opinion.
And I think Watson is the future for the Texans.
I think he is. And finally, the Ravens defense, that's right. I wore purple just for them. They shut out Dalton. His QBR was one of the lowest since the QBR was created back in 2006. We had 4 picks and 5 sacks, 22 fantasy points.
No, you guys did an incredible job. I mean, it's Andy Dalton, so...
The red rifle.
Whatever. But still, that was great. A lot of rusty elite quarterbacks, though.
Indeed there were.
Russell Wilson had 158 yards, 1 fumble. It was just... I mean, you could call it rust or... I don't know. It was just bad. It's just all bad football.
The O-line you need to work on the O-line because they look like Swiss cheese. They were just pressuring him every single play.
That's an insult to good Swiss cheese.
I'm sorry. Matt Ryan, not a horrible day, but not a great day. 320 yards, just 1 touchdown. It was against the Bears. People thought he was going to do a lot better. So just that Super Bowl hangover, maybe?
I didn't think he was going to do that well anyways. Like I said, I think it was... I mean, he's always been a serviceable quarterback, but I think last season is the outlier in his career.
Okay.
And he kind of reverts back to that 300 yards, a touchdown, maybe 250 and 2 touchdowns, but you're not going to see the numbers you saw last season.
Right.
Again.
Over 4,000 yards, the MVP caliber season that we saw.
I don't think Julio can't play that much.
Okay. All right. Drew Brees, we saw last night, Monday Night Football. Just 291 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, they looked bad.
They looked pretty bad.
I mean, and here's the thing. Like, their defense is atrocious, and if Breeze can't throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns a game...
They're not going to win.
They could go 2-14. I don't know. I mean, there's no... Breeze is the great fantasy quarterback because you're used to 353 touchdowns.
Right.
Because there's nothing else. Because his defense doesn't keep them in games, Breeze has to keep them in games. But when he plays like that, like, you're a terrible team.
It's not going to get the job done.
Terrible team.
Tom Brady, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, just 267 yards. That's it. No touchdowns, no picks.
So do you think this is the beginning of the end or what?
I'm not going to say, not yet. It's just week 1. We don't know for sure, but 267 yards after a Super Bowl win, it may be the decline of Tom Brady.
I agree. I mean, I think you need to look back to the decline from Peyton Manning.
Right.
Where all of a sudden one day it just careened downhill.
Right.
I think it was an off game for Brady. I think the 5 gigantic inflatable Super Bowl trophies, Marky Mark out there, like, they kind of got punched in the mouth. They had it coming. But right now you can see Brady misses Edelman.
Yes.
Also, Gronk was a complete non-factor.
Yeah, he had 5 fantasy points.
Nothing. I mean, Alfredo was talking earlier in the bullpen today, like, he's thinking about benching him.
Oof.
Like, we were talking
After
about
1 week.
benching Rob Gronkowski in fantasy. Like, this is unheard of. I mean, will he rebound? We'll get into it a little later. Maybe, maybe not. But
I don't know. It's going to be tough, though.
Dismal.
Dismal. And finally, Aaron Rodgers, 311 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
Okay.
This is a guy that people have in the first round in many leagues, and he put up just 16 fantasy points.
As much as I don't like Rodgers, because there's a Packers-Seahawks rivalry now, that you're playing the Seahawks defense. In the first half, the Seahawks held him to a 63.6 passer rating. Okay, Rodgers isn't going to face defenses like that all season. And the interception, it was kind of his fault, but it's not like he threw it long and Earl Thomas picked it off. He kind of threw it into the guy's head.
So you're saying don't hit the panic button just yet?
No, God.
Okay,
Rodgers is going to be fine.
All right, there you go.
All right. Some close upsets this weekend.
Right.
Steelers won 21-18 over the Browns.
The Browns doing so bad.
Why? God.
Because the Browns and the Steelers, hello, they suck.
It's fun to keep, well, you're a Ravens fan, so you hate the
Exactly.
Steelers. But it's fun to keep the Browns bad because it's just
so
fun,
sad.
fun for the jokes.
One day.
Falcons won 23-17 over the Bears. Glennon almost threw the game-winning touchdown. However, they're already screaming for Trubisky, so...
I don't know. Glennon looks pretty good in that game.
I don't know. And what happened with the Raiders?
The Raiders, they hit off the Titans 26-16. Marcus Mariota, they were driving down the field in the fourth quarter there. It looked like there was possible upset. They held them off. It was a pretty close call for a game that was really favored for the Raiders.
Very true. Marshawn Lynch also.
Did very well.
Pretty decent game. So, now it is time for our famous and his biased power rankings. So, roll the intro. Now, here we go. Number 10 on your power rankings.
Most definitely. AKA
Wow.
Jeff Moore. Wow is right. I have never been so wrong about something in my life.
Drop that. What?
He dropped from 1 to 10. Now, here's why. He put up 78.9 points. He was projected over 118 points. Last episode, I had him going for 130. Wow, was I wrong. Here's why. Le'Veon Bell, completely MIA.
Yeah.
He ran for, I think, 10 rushes for 60 yards. It was dismal. Aaron Rodgers, that we talked about, put up just 16 points. All of his top picks barely got him anything. We'll see what happens next week. I think he bounces back, but to him, it was a huge drop.
So does he have to put up like 250 next week to go back to number 1?
Probably.
I'm so confused.
He's got to work his way up. He's got to work his way up, okay?
All right. Number 9.
Number 9, a team has no name.
Damn, 4
AKA
points.
myself. So I was 5 last week in my way too early preseason rankings. I dropped to number 9. Why is that? Well, because for one reason, I only put up 85 points. Awful. AJ Green, 12 points. Michael Thomas, another 15 points. It was just, everything just didn't go my way. And I played against a very tough opponent, which I will talk about later. It's just one of those weeks. Patsy put up -4. It happens. I'm not too worried about myself. I will bounce back next week.
Man, their defense was pretty bad.
It was awful.
Pretty bad. All right. Moving on. Number 8.
Number 8, baby got Dak. Good old Alfredo. He was previously 6. Like I said, I told him not to worry, and here's why. He's got Brees. We talked about Gronkowski. My worry is T.Y. Hilton, though. He put up 6.7 points. Scott Tolzien's throwing to him. He's not going to do well. And this was his 3rd-round pick. I'm not seeing too much of an up or down. I think he's going to kind of say this throughout the season. He may be the Sacco and get the tattoo. I'm not too worried, though, but
Really?
I'm not too worried.
Really?
I think maybe Gronk heats up, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, you'll get games where he does good, but I mean, again, it's week 2, and he's already discussing, maybe should I bench him?
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know.
That's Gronk, buddy.
I think he's toward the bottom of the pack, but just not completely at the bottom.
No. Number 7.
Number 7, Team Hurricane Harvey. Kyle Storms. He was 10 last week. I told him, don't worry, because you're going to work your way up. He put up 90.3 points. Ezekiel Elliott played. He put up 20 points for him. Matt Ryan, again, as we talked about, 300 yards and a touchdown. His only goose egg was Hunter Henry, his tight end. He put up 0 points. So Kyle, I know, that's a bummer. It's literally a bummer. But Kyle picked up Tyree Cohen, who was the waiver wire pickup of the week this week. He had him last week. So I told him, don't worry, not to panic. You're number 7. I think he's going to work his way up as the weeks go on.
All right, fair enough. Number 6, my team. I'm up, even though I lost. I'm rising. It's the rebound week.
You threw up 109 points.
I know I did.
You would have beaten half the entire league right there with that score.
And Armando had a great week. He left Tyreek Hill on the bench.
Yeah.
26 points. If Armando would have started him, Armando would have probably put up, I don't know, almost 200 like at some point. Like
that 200 is a bit high, but he would have put up at least 160, 170. But nonetheless, you're at number 6, Shady, LaShawn McCoy, 20 points without a touchdown. Right, that gets you 30 with a touchdown. You're fine. Jameis is coming back. Sam Bradford, your start of the week right there, 25 points. You did very, very well. You were previously 8, moved up 2 spots. Keep working hard.
I appreciate. I mean,
cranking.
You know what? Damn you, Mike Tolbert, for poaching that goal line touchdown from Shady. Number 5,
Big Baller Brand.
Lonzo.
All right, so Chaz here, 89 points, and he won. Right, which in my opinion is complete nonsense.
That's hardly even a fantasy score.
That's complete nonsense. He was previously 7. Russell Wilson, 8.3 points. Frank Gore, 6.2 points. Tyler Eifert, 1.4 points. I mean, barely
What
winning.
is that, like 20 yards and a catch?
If that. His only hope was DeAndre Hopkins and Jordy Nelson. They put up touchdowns and about 100 yards each. So, you know what? If that gets you one, that gets you a win. I think he's going to drop one next week. He's going to move down the power rankings, if you ask me.
Well, let's hope, because Big Baller Brand. Gag me. Alrighty, number 4.
Number 4, Lisbon Pork and Cheese, Nick Vieira. He did very, very well, except for one huge hit, and that is David Johnson. If you guys know, he went down with a wrist injury, 2 to 3 months. Not good news, but Nick still put up 113 points. Smoking, if you ask me.
I mean, he won, so
he won. That's all.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
By any means necessary. Oh, number 3.
Number 3.
And there's a co-owner on this team now.
There's apparently a second co-owner, which I have no idea. Straight out of Compton.
Didn't approve it through me.
He's the GM. Straight out of Compton, David Compton, and our own Tim Shelton from the Unrivaled Tournament Series. They put up 109 points. Tom Brady, rather unfortunate.
Again,
10 points.
Not going to happen every week. I mean, granted, if it's this week too, then yes, there's cause to worry.
He's got issues.
But you're not going to get that every week from Brady. So I say people just write it off as like, you know what? Happens. Too cocky, moving on.
There you go. Lamar Miller, I think, is washed up, if you ask me.
Agreed.
Jordan Howard had a good game, but as we talked about, Tariq Cohen is going to be splitting carries with him. His poor kicker.
Sebastian
Janikowski, the Polish cannon. He put up 109 points. I think he's actually going to drop it next week. He's playing Jeff.
Dude, really?
I think he's going to lose next week.
Oh, way to give him a teaser for our picks that are coming up just a little bit later. Stay tuned. All right, number 2. Ugh.
This one's the worst. This one caused me the most pain right here.
God, it sucks.
The Power 9, Armando. He was previously 9. He moved up to number 2. Why is that? Well, 122 points. As he mentioned, he played Crookshank. He left Tyreek Hill on the bench. Tyreek Hill put up 26. He's got a pretty stacked team. He's got Golden Tate, Marcus Mariota, Matthew Stafford, all put up solid numbers. It's a bummer, but you know what? I have no argument. He put up a great week.
He just doesn't shut up when he wins. I hate it.
I know.
All right, number 1. I bet this one hurt you to write too.
And this one hurt the most. Number 1 is our lovely balls deeper, Justin Gillerman. He put up 148 against me.
Well, yeah, dude, you got taken to the woodshed last Thursday night.
And that is because
your season was over at probably what? 7:30 Pacific time.
Pretty much.
Week 1 just was out.
Pretty much. Kareem Hunt put up 45.6 fantasy points. That was half my team right there.
Ugh.
I had no chance. Everything went right for Jay Gill. Here's the biggest part where I get really terrified. He put up 146. That was without Odell Beckham Jr. and Jay Ajayi. So I don't know. We may have a new person on our hands, but maybe my curse at number 1. Maybe it's a curse, and he'll drop to number 10 this next week. I don't know.
Well, cool. Put David there 1 week so he can just drop to 10 so we can mock him for it. All right. Well, those are your power rankings. Not nearly as biased this week. I like it.
That's right.
So moving on. Top matchups for NFL games with fantasy implications. So, what do you got? It's the first one.
Eagles-Chiefs.
Ah.
This is a big one.
Very nice. Yes.
Carson Wentz versus Alex Smith, the quarterback battle.
Thrilling.
My biggest question is, did Alex Smith just have a fluke game, or is he actually for real this year?
I don't know. I mean, he used to be the check down king.
Check down king. 200 yards and a touchdown every time.
He was throwing that ball all over the place.
He was slinging it.
It was remarkable.
140 QBR.
I mean, now, you're right. They have Hunt now. Tyreek Hill's there. I mean, they've got some offensive weapons, and the defense didn't look that terrible either.
No, it didn't.
Like this, it's very early, but this could be the year maybe they get over that hump.
That's what I'm thinking. This could be there because they always make the playoffs. They're usually always there, but they've never gotten past the Patriots.
They always lose in Foxborough.
Lose in Foxborough.
Either right around the divisional.
Yep. This could be the year, though. So that's what I'm looking for. The other thing I'm looking for is the running back duo between Fat Rob Kelly, and Chris Thompson versus LeGarrette Blount and Darren Sproles.
No, that is very fascinating.
I think it's going to be a good battle right there. I know a couple of us in our league have him. I have Blount. Nick Vieira, who I'm playing this week, has Rob Kelly. It's going to be close, and so I'm looking for that. I think it's going to be a really good game for both Oomba TV and for the other fantasy people out there, as well as in real life.
Fair enough. My pick, Packers-Falcons.
Huge game.
Sunday night. So you've got a potential NFC Championship divisional matchup. We have 9 out of 10 of us all have players in this game.
Yeah, almost the entire league.
So when you put it in a situation like that, that's just, it's such, all of us are going to be watching this Sunday night.
Absolutely.
Everybody, this affects all of us in some way, shape, or form. You've got Giorgio versus Julio, you've got Rodgers versus Matty. This game could feasibly make or break your week, too, with the amount of star power.
Oh, absolutely. Just in our league alone, we have Matt Ryan, who has Kyle Storm owns Matt Ryan. Mm-hmm. Alfredo is Julio Jones. So they're going to be we need Matt Ryan and Julio all day.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be people that have Jordy Nelson, which is Chaz. And
I have Devontae Adams.
Exactly.
So I'm screaming, throw the ball, but it's not the Jordans.
Adams. Yeah. It's going to be a huge game. You're definitely right. NBC Sunday night game, that's the game to watch right there.
And you can always listen to the beautiful Al Michaels. Listen, I love that man call games.
So I don't know about you, but I'm very stoked for that Packers-Falcons game.
I can't wait.
We have a lot riding on it. That'll do it for our top matchups for NFL games and for fantasy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Las Vegas is home to Tabletop Championships in October. The Unrivaled Tournament Series conquers the Strip with hundreds of players competing in 6 games. Ascension, King of Tokyo, Munchkin, Nevermore, Epic Spell Wars 2, and Villagers and Villains. All for the chance to win part of the $250,000 prize pool. It all takes place on October 28th in the Jubilee Theater starting at 5 o'clock. Join us in person or watch us live at oomba.tv and check out unrivaled.com for a full schedule of events. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Hello and welcome back, Fantasy Failures. It is now time for the most important part of what's going to make or break your fantasy this season, the waiver wire.
All right, my first waiver wire pickup of the week is Tariq Cohen. He is owned in 2% of the leagues. We happen to be in that 2% here at Oomba TV. But if you're in the other 98%, go get this guy. Here's why. First of all, they call him the human joystick. What a great nickname. And the reason why is because he's used on kickoff returns, punt returns, and the offense. He's a pass-catching back. He put up 22 points in our PPR league. Go out and get this guy.
So flex position.
Flex position for sure.
Put him in your flex. Put him in your flex.
He's going to be splitting carries with Jordan Howard. Go get this guy if he's out there.
Very nice. One of mine, Kerwin Williams in Arizona. As we know, David Johnson's out 2 to 3 months. Okay, he's 0.01% owned right now in all leagues across the country. And the Cards are flirting with the idea, most likely going to re-sign Chris Johnson. However, we all know Chris Johnson is old. He's not going to get all the carries. They're going to have to be split. So look to Williams. Value is going to about to skyrocket overnight. Another one I got, Chris Hogan in New England.
All right.
So we all know the massacre in Foxborough. One of the main things that was apparent was Brady has no one to throw to. He misses Edelman. Amendola's not that great. Brandon Cooks is whatever. Chris Hogan, he's about 15% owned, more or less. Look, he's got to see a lot more action. Brady's going to turn him into a household star. If he's there, grab him. Hold on to him.
My last one, Cooper Kupp for all of you LA Rams fans out there. Rams game, they blew out the Colts 46-9.
I still can't believe that.
Cooper Kupp went for 76 yards and 1 touchdown on 6 targets. This guy is incredible. I think he's going to really blow up. He's currently owned in just 26% of leagues. Go out and get this guy.
I just submitted a waiver claim for him this morning. I mean, the Rams have Sammy Watkins now, but they're going to double cover him.
Every
so
game.
It's going to leave somebody like Cooper open, and he will get the majority of the looks, as long as Jared Goff can remain competent, which yet to be seen. Jury's still out.
It's too early, but just worth noting, Kenny Britt had 1,000 yards last year, so I think Coop could maybe go for it.
Maybe 850, more or less.
He's starting off to a really good start.
I completely agree. All right, injury report.
The injury report. This always saddens me because you never want people to get hurt.
No.
This week there were some pretty big injuries. The first being Allen Robinson, Jaguars wideout. Wideout 1, he tore his ACL in this past game. It was his contract year. He was looking to bounce back for 1,000 yards. Tough break. He'll be out for the season right there. Andrew Luck, still out with a shoulder injury. He's been out since early in the preseason. They brought in Jacoby Brissett because Scott Tolzien did that bad. Stephen A. Smith actually over the past weekend said, can you honestly tell me Scott Tolzien is better than Kaepernick? Maybe they should go out and get Kaepernick? I don't know. But Andrew Luck is still on the IR for those who have him. The big one, David Johnson, running back for the Arizona Cardinals. He is out 2 to 3 months with a wrist surgery. It's going to be huge for all fantasy owners across the nation, PPR and standard. Go out and get Andre Ellington. Go out and get Chris Johnson, any of those running backs, because they're going to be getting a lot of time. But Johnson's out for 2 to 3 months right there. Danny Woodhead, my boy for the Baltimore Ravens. Played 1 drive. 3 snaps on that drive in the first quarter. Hamstring injury. We don't know how long he's out for, but they're saying at least 3 to 4 weeks, so that's at least 3 games right there. I'm benching him. I'm going to keep him just in case because I think he'll be fine. Another big one, Kevin White, shoulder and collarbone injury. He's out for the season. And a big one on the defensive side of the ball is Eric Berry. He tore his Achilles in that Chiefs-Patriots game, which is horrible because he's a great player. So Chiefs D is going to take a little bit of a hit. But those are the big injuries. Again, you never want to risk an injury on anybody, but those are the big ones. We'll stay tuned to see what happens this upcoming week.
It is now time for my personal favorite segment of Fantasy Failures, Magic or Tragic. All right, so Magic or Tragic, who is first on our sacred, hallowed, Magic or Tragic block?
Le'Veon Bell.
Ooh.
All right, this is going to be a good one. He had 32 yards against the Browns defense last week.
Yeah, you're really upset about this.
I'm very upset. I see another off week. I'm saying Tragic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't agree. This is Le'Veon Bell. They're playing the Vikings. All right, defense not great. He's Le'Veon Bell. It was an off week. He came out stumbling. He's Magic. I bet 80 yards, 1 touchdown.
All right. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Another great running back, Ezekiel Elliott. He had 100 yards against the Giants. I think he's going to have 100 yards and a touchdown against the Denver Broncos. He's Magic.
I don't think he'll have 100 yards. I mean, Denver is a little better. I think maybe 75 and a touchdown. I'll agree, Magic. He's great. There's no other way to put it. He's one of the top running backs in the NFL.
Keeps on tumbling.
I'd say top 3 at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right. Up next, this is for you, Nick. Russell Wilson.
Be still my heart.
It's a bummer. 158 yards, 1 fumble week 1. I don't see a bounce back in this one. I'm saying Tragic.
No way.
Here we got this homer picks.
This isn't a homer pick. Okay. They're back in the clink. They're playing the Niners. Right now he's projected at 19.3 points. Woo. I think he gets up to 22. I mean, again, this sucks. Like, Chaz has him, but I'm a Seahawks fan first. Always. I would rather see another Seahawks Super Bowl, and I get a Oomba tattoo for the rest of my life. Also, it's their home opener. You've got the 12th man. It goes one of 2 ways. He either bounces back and has a great game, or he dies on the turf halfway through the first. Wow. Because there's 0 offensive line there. I got to say he's Magic. You know, he's always been Magic. Russell, you're my boy. Please, for the love of God, win this game.
All right. Another Steeler right here. AB84, you know him as Antonio Brown. He went 11 for 11, 180 yards against the Browns. Magical Antonio Brown. Start him. He's just going to kill it. Oh,
Antonio Brown, you have to. I mean, I don't share his enthusiasm.
He's a great player. He's a Steeler, but he's a great player.
I mean, 11 for 11, 180, that's incredible. Those are vintage Randy Moss numbers, and even beating vintage Randy there at some point. I do think he will have great numbers. I don't think he'll be that good, but I will say he's Magic. All right, and this one I actually added late in our production meeting the other day. I was thinking about it, and this isn't even a homer pick because I was kind of chastised for it was another homer pick, but as more people thought about it, they're like, oh, you know, that's a good point. Jimmy Graham.
I love Jimmy Graham. I know. I miss Saints Jimmy Graham so much. You know what I mean?
And like, I do too. We traded everything for him. We traded the only halfway decent lineman we had. But Wilson hit him in the hands twice. Okay, he had 2 easy drops. He's just not his self anymore. He's really just not. And I mean, maybe it's a product of the Seahawks defense schemes. I mean, he still can't downfield block. Right. So, tragic, man. It is a tragic state of affairs for Jimmy G.
I know, it's a heartbreak, but it is a tragic. He just lost his touch, as you said. You know, I don't see it.
You take away the goalpost dunks, and it's just it all fell apart.
All right, so, for that.
Thanks, Raj. Very sad. All right. Well, coming up after these short messages, we will introduce our brand new, never seen before on your television screen, computer screen, phone screen segment, Stud or Dud. We will go through next week's previews, talk about our picks, and David Compton's Lock of the Week. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it.
Las Vegas is home to Tabletop Championships in October. The Unrivaled Tournament Series conquers the Strip with hundreds of players competing in 6 games. Ascension, King of Tokyo, Munchkin, Nevermore, Epic Spell Wars 2, and Villagers and Villains. All for the chance to win part of the $250,000 prize pool. It all takes place on October 28th in the Jubilee Theater starting at 5 o'clock. Join us in person or watch us live at Oomba.tv and check out Unrivaled.com for a full schedule of events. Looking forward to seeing you there.
So, as we said, Stud or Dud is a new segment where each week Cam and I will pick 2 studs and 2 duds for kind of projections for next week. And then in the week after, we will revisit them and see effectively how we did and pick 2 more, so on and so forth. So, Cam, what is your week 1 stud?
My week 1 stud, Matthew Stafford against the Giants.
Wow.
I know, pretty bold. He's in a contract year. His first pass against the Cardinals wasn't too good. It was a pick, but he salvaged it, got the win, and threw up 25 fantasy points. This week he's playing the Giants. I think he's going to go for another 22 points. I'm thinking, call it 250 yards and a touchdown. It's going to be solid. I think he's going to do great. Second stud, Mike Gillislee. Why do I say this? Well, because last week he scored 3 touchdowns against the Chiefs. This week they're playing the Saints. I think he's going to get 3 more touchdowns, just like Blunt last year had 18 touchdowns. He's going to get 3 more, and I think he's going to get 23 fantasy points. Stud.
Fair enough. My turn. This is where the real ones come in. My number 1 stud, Tom Brady. Okay. Sorry, I've watched him for years now. Like, it's Tom Brady. I mean, as we said earlier, the decline of Peyton Manning happened so rapidly that you could tell he was done. Yes, Brady did overthrow some receivers. Yes, he looked frazzled. However, don't buy it. He comes back. Again, they're playing the Saints. I'm thinking 250, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, projected for 23 points. I bet he hits 28. Like, no problem.
I believe that.
Number 2 stud, Marshawn Lynch. My boy, Beast Mode. I love you. What you did for the city of Seattle, we can never thank you enough.
Classic Homer.
Oh, I love it. I don't care. I love that man.
What does he go for?
100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's playing the Jets.
Monster.
He still got it. He still definitely has it. I mean, 100. I bet he breaks kind of a long one, and the second one's a goal line situation. But just look for him.
Okay.
All right, who's your duds?
T.Y. Hilton against the Cardinals D.
Wow.
Biggest thing is there's no Andrew Luck. He had 6 points last week against the Rams. They're playing a tougher defense in the Cardinals. I think he's going to get 7 points, maybe 8. Don't start him. Honestly, don't. Second dud, this is for you, Nick. Todd Gurley against the Redskins. I think this past week was a fluke. He had 60 yards and a touchdown. He had 20 points.
He won't do that again. Trust.
I'm thinking 50 yards, no touchdowns against the Redskins.
And that was the Todd Gurley I knew and loved last season.
Dud too. What about you?
All right, my dud one, Kareem Hunt, just Philadelphia defense. Sorry, dude.
Wow.
Magic runs out.
Okay.
The first fumble, all his team rallied around him, and he found the adrenaline. He took off. Look, they were in Foxborough. It was literally the first opening game of the season. They wanted to smack him in the mouth. I think the Magic run out, clock strikes midnight, and you get sort of a, 60 yards, maybe a touchdown, but you're not going to see what you saw last week. Like, he will not do that every week.
Got it.
And my second dud, Jared Goff against the Redskins. I don't buy the hype.
Goff.
The Colts aren't a good team. Sometimes he throws a football like a menopausal wombat. So I think he drops one at home. You know what? They are the Rams. Like, he had one good game. Don't buy it.
No 250 yards and a touchdown.
No.
Absolutely not. Okay.
157 and 2 picks.
Oof. All right. Well, that's a bit tough. But looking ahead to next week, right? You and Chaz. Let's preview next week.
Let's get it.
So I have you as the Chaz and Nick throwdown. Here's why. LaShawn McCoy against Devontae Freeman and Doug Baldwin against Jordy Nelson.
Yeah,
that is 2 good matchups to watch.
It's going to be a great fantasy. I mean, I'm already sad because Chaz has Wilson and the Seahawks are obviously now 0-1, so I want a victory here. So I will be sitting in my house screaming at the television every time Wilson drops back for the half a second he actually gets to drop back before he gets sacked, to throw the ball to Doug Baldwin. Other than that, all incompletes out of Wilson.
I think you're going to win, though. I took you last week. I was wrong. It's okay. I have you beating him this week.
Then maybe I need you to not pick me.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I have bad luck.
All right, for me, I got Armando versus Kyle.
It's a good one.
You got Mariota versus Matty Ice, Golden Tate versus Sammy Watkins. I mean, on paper, it's going to be a pretty good matchup. But as you said, and this isn't even because it's my team, the Chaz versus me, that game, it's a great matchup. Like right now, the line is like 4.5 between the two of us. It is a pick-em game at this point.
Wow.
So that was previewing next week. Now, let's talk about who our fantasy player picks of the week are. So Cam, who you got?
Who do I have? Amari Cooper against the Jets defense.
Wow.
Why is that? It's the Jets defense. Amari Cooper had a great game last week. I think he goes for 100 yards and a touchdown. It's going to be a solid pick. Start him if you have him.
Alrighty. My pick of the week, a little more off the wall, a little risque. I like to keep it out of the box. Deshaun Watson against the Bengals defense.
I like that.
I'm sorry. I think Watson, if you're a Texan fan, get excited because he's bred to be a winner. He's led Clemson in big games. This is his time. He knows it. It is not his to lose. He is the future there in Texas. The reign of Deshaun Watson starts Sunday.
I like your picks. Sam Bradford, Deshaun Watson. It's good.
Now,
I like that pick.
Only I could do something
only
with them.
Only off-the-wall picks every week.
All right. So.
Fantasy.
Yes. We went head-to-head. We tied.
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Woo. I knew I was going to lose. At this point, I'm already a fantasy failure. I'm projected to go myself 0-13. I don't think I win a game this season.
That's not going to happen.
You might as well bring the artist in here and ink me up now. But, so, for Chaz versus me, I picked Chaz. I mean, projected 118 to 110. Something tells me Wilson goes off, and he does not throw a single one to Doug Baldwin. Devontae Adams doesn't catch a single pass. They all get thrown to Jordy Nelson. I have a bad feeling about it, but what's yours?
You know, I have you. I have Crookshank again, part 2. You failed me last week, but it's okay. I think you come back. I think you beat Chaz.
I really swear to God, if I lose this week and you pick me moving forward,
I will never pick you again.
Thank you.
I will never pick you again.
All right, Kyle versus Armando, go.
I have Armando over this one. I think he's gonna come out strong. He's starting Stafford again. That's my start. I think he's gonna do great, and I think he'll get the victory over Kyle.
Fair enough. I took Kyle.
Okay.
I think Armando had a great week last week. His team is good, but I don't think it's gonna be that good again. So I think Kyle runs away with it. I mean, it's projected 120, 113. That's 7 points, not a lot in fantasy. I'm taking Kyle.
All right.
I took Jeff over David.
Okay.
I believe Brown and Brady will go off, but something tells me Jeff has a great team on paper, and it will hit. I think this is when it starts. I mean, week 1 is always shaky.
Right.
Usually week 2, week 3, stuff starts to settle. Good players become good. The flash in the pan players from week 1 settle down. I think you see Jeff here.
You know what? We're split again. I have David over Jeff. I think Brady has a great comeback game. I think Brown again goes for another monster game. I have David.
So Alfredo over J. Gill. Still can't pick a team with Curly on it. Literally, that is my only caveat at this point.
Brutal.
Justin, when you drop him to the bench, come find me in the office and I will pick you. I'm taking Alfredo this one.
Jago's my number 1 in my power rankings. He's my number 1 here. He's going to easily beat Alfredo. Kareem Hunt won't have a game like he did last week, but I think he'll do just fine. He'll cruise right over Alfredo.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry.
I took you over Nick, though. I think A.J. Green goes nuts.
Woo! Yeah.
That's what I think.
All right. I think he's going to torch the Houston defense.
But do you think you'll win? Not that confident.
I'm not that confident. Believe it or not, I actually have Nick Vieira over me.
Producer Nick
behind the camera there. Yep. I think Nick Vieira is going to go off. I think Derek Carr throws for like some crazy 4 touchdowns or something. I have no chance.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. No hope.
Wow.
No hope.
All right, so completely opposite this week. Might as well make it interesting. We apparently have completely different feelings on how we think our fantasy league is going to do. But with all that being said, it is time for David Compton's pick of the week.
What you got, David?
Okay, seriously, you're back? It's still Eli Manning.
All right. Well, thanks, David. Another riveting lock of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he just feels it. I'm sure next week will be different. I mean, David's very busy, But
maybe he goes for it. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I respect the enthusiasm.
Eli
totally
Manning,
do.
never forget.
There you have it. Week 2 is in the books. I hear we're on Twitter now.
Yes, we are. You know what? Follow us on Twitter at UMBAFF. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned for all different updates throughout the season. It's going to be awesome.
I will follow it.
Good.
I suppose I have to. I most likely will tweet. Maybe, probably not. No promises.
I'm Cameron Backstrom.
I'm Nick Crookshank. That was Fantasy Failures. May your team never be a failure. Thanks. Good night.
Good night, everybody.